Today is Friday, September the 11th, 2009. Hope everybody is doing magnificent. It is also a day called 9/11, or the 8-year anniversary of 9/11. The first 9/11 anniversary that didn't have the President G.W. Bush. So Obama, this is your first September the 11th. And we have already had Charlie Sheen get in touch with you. And thank you, Mr. Charlie Sheen, for what you have done. Thank you everybody else who has helped out on this truth movement, whether it's 911 truth or something else. Man, this is the time we need to make change, because the government, man, they've always had a track record of all these political leaders of being that we call liars. If we look at the industry or the position of jobs that has the tendency to lie the most, surprisingly, the governments and politicians are at the top, and I'm sarcastically saying surprisingly, of course. So they've got this track record of lying, and yet we're expected to believe a story that the X's and O's just do not add up together. I mean, come on, seriously, because normally we have these anniversaries, September 11th, 02, 03, 04, and so on. And at that point, I could probably say that I was a sheeple. And at my sheeple days, I'd look back and think, oh man, terrorists had to come down and take down the buildings. But I'm not denying that terrorists did it, but I'm denying who the terrorists are that you are talking about. I mean, this whole Al-Qaeda and Bin Laden thing, I mean, it's a little bit fishy, don't you think? Anyway, so let's just use an example here. Say, for example, we're at a school. We'll use the name John Doe, who's been known for lying and doing bad things. He does one of his worst things ever. The teacher and the principal come up and ask him, well, what's the story? What really happened? And then John, as good of a liar as he is, makes a great little story. Do you really think that the principal and the teachers are just going to be like, okay, we'll believe it with no investigation? Of course not, but that's exactly what's went on with this 9/11 situation. I mean, the government and politicians have a track record of lying, and yet we're not going to do any investigating on the situation? Well, look at the ones who investigates. Now we can see more evidence towards it. Speaking of evidence, let's do a little quote unquote. Now, I don't know who asked the question to President Bush a few years ago, but the question was this, quote, I know you said there will be a time for politics, but you've also said you want to change the tone of Washington. Howard Dean, recently seen to news, allowed whether you had advanced knowledge of 9/11. Do you agree or disagree with the RNC that this kind of rhetoric borders on political hate speech, unquote? President Bush had a hard time answering that question, and quote, yeah, there's time for politics, and you know, it's time for politics, and it's an absurd insinuation. And I mean, you can just tell by that story that it wasn't truly real, that he was very uncomfortable with the situation. Totally uncomfortable with the situation. And then again, you look at the story that he gave when he was there at the school in Florida for 9/11, and he mentioned a TV was there. I mean, come on. Yes, there's TVs at school, but I highly doubt that they happen to be showing regular news footage on an ABC, CNN, or whatever channel you happen to be watching. Because usually the TVs at school shows videotapes of what they want, and I'm sure that they have these school news or whatever they show, but not the CBS, ABC, or whatever network. No. But then to come in and say that you've seen the first plane go into the building, that wasn't shown live, and I mean, literally, it just seems so obvious on the situation, in my opinion. Now, myself, I know when I play poker, what I do at the live table is I try to read people like a book. This way, when I see they don't have too much, I tell that they're lying, I'm able to bluff them out of a pot with an all-in raise, or I'm able to call them with a pair of twos, stuff in that nature, because I know they're lying. And then when I see genuine stuff out of them, I could have two pairs, or I could have a straight with the flush possible, and I'm going to throw it away because I know that they're confident, I know that they're happy. It's all part in reading people. And I'm not a judge, but I realize that almost every judge in the world, based on this evidence, must truly see this as being guilty with an open mind. And I only gotta hope that a judge has an open mind, in my opinion anyway. So, I'm going to cut this pretty quick now, but I was watching the NFL opening kickoff game yesterday on September the 10th between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Tennessee Titans. And at the start of it with the anthem, they had a little tribute to 911 before the anthem. And oh, I was hoping at the start of the anthem that the fans were going to go out and say 911 was an inside job, or just something like that, but they didn't. But you know what? Maybe in 2010 on opening day they'll say that. Because with the truth revolution, stuff like this can happen in this world, because quite frankly, it is time to demand, not ask, although ask yes, but it's time to demand truth. Thank you, Charlie Sheen. Thank you, everybody who has helped out with this situation. Thank you for watching this video, and have yourself a great day, week, month, and weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.